Hi guys, yeah, you okay?
Hey Carl, nice to meet you.
No, I knew. So, where are you all located then? I mean, I know you obviously when you're together as a band, but where are you sort of living at the moment?
Well, I'm in Buckinghamshire, out in the middle of nowhere in the countryside, which has been a blessing and a bit of a curse in lockdown. It's been great because there's no one around, but then there really is no one around, so there's
Yeah.
like no sign of life anywhere. um, but no, it's good. It's been nice.
Yeah, I'm up in well, not up, but I'm in Hertfordshire. Yeah, outskirts of London.
Yeah.
And yeah, Freddie's the other end of London.
Yeah, I'm southwest in Twickenham, right near the rugby stadium.
Oh, okay, okay. To be honest with you, it doesn't matter where we all are. I'm in South Wales, and we've all got the same sort of scenario.
Yeah,
Maybe not as strict as in Wales is a lot more stricter than England, but I think you're catching up. So,
yeah.
but anyway, I've got some questions. And just bear me a second to bring them up. I mean, also I've got this recording as well. So, um, if I could just say then, guys, I mean, obviously, what was it back in 2015 that made you know right away that you guys had something special? What first got you together? I know you met in you're sort of session musician or something like that. But what was it that made you sort of realize then that you had something special?
I don't know. I think it all happened like really really fast. Like the first, it was that we had like literally one rehearsal. Obviously, me and Huss had known each other for years. We went to school together.
Okay.
But we'd never like been in a band together or anything. And yeah, we literally had like one rehearsal and everything seemed to like click. It was just like really, really easy. And yeah, it was just, yeah, it kind of made a lot of sense. And then we went straight from that into, we did like a tour supporting Ella Air. Yeah, it was like, we didn't have much like prep time, but went straight into it. And yeah, haven't looked back since.
Is that the same for you and Freddie and us? You're the same sort of, what JC just said?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that first 6 months we had quite a few challenges, to overcome. We had to get a set ready, go on tour together, and we had Radio 1 Record of the Week.
Yeah.
And that happened at the same time, and those first 6 months were amazing. And I think, yeah, we kind of all, just as soon as we got out of that first 6 months, we're all like, oh, that was great. Let's carry on.
I think for me, like, there was a sense of not having much. It sounds really bad to say it, but I didn't have like, my expectations were just kind of like, just go into this and see what happens. It wasn't like, this is going to be my career for the next however many years. It just was like, oh, let's meet these guys, see how it goes in the rehearsal room. And yeah, it was just a really pleasant surprise. I remember speaking to my girlfriend at the time, who is now my fiance, and saying, yeah, that was great. It just clicked and got along with them really well. And it just, yeah, it seemed to work well.
And I guess maybe for yourselves then it was, maybe it was always at the back of your mind that you would achieve what you have, or were you starting to sort of think that maybe it was too difficult to make that dream a reality, that you were going to be, forefront rather than being, the background?
I don't know. I think we're all quite like, we're all very like optimistic and we're all well aware of like the challenges that the industry, everything that goes on and how hard it is to like break and to get things kind of moving. But I feel like having that sort of passenger seat from when we played, when we were like session musicians, and we had this like passenger seat kind of view into like their careers, we kind of like definitely got to understand like what it takes, and like picked up some tips and tricks along the way. So I think that really stood us in good stead.
And I know the day your album came out, Highlights, was it a couple of years ago? No, it's 2010, 2020, wasn't it?
What is time? Yeah.
Yeah, what is time?
Yeah. I've completely lost like all sense of time at the moment. But yeah, it was it was a year ago. We had like an anniversary the other day, didn't we?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And obviously, when that came out, you obviously had maybe 18 months after that to do the tour and all the rest, and then lo and behold, we are where we are. But do you think that, I mean, obviously you got the EP coming out, I think is it the next week or so? I'm not sure. I know I've had access to it, but it's imminent, isn't it?
Yeah, it's on the 20th,
26th.
26th of February. So in 16 days,
Yeah. Do you think that had lockdown not happened and COVID, that do you think this new EP would have then merged into being an LP, a record, or
Probably.
do you not think it would not have happened? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess so. I think I don't know how it became. Well, I suppose yeah, we couldn't tour, so we had to be productive, and we had to have something to show our fans. We were meant to be playing all these new songs live to them, like highlights. There's some songs on there which we've never performed live just because we couldn't.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Reverie it just came together with us being forced into that position, I suppose. So, and we got to 6 songs and we sort of said that makes sense. Like that. I think that whole writing process and recording process, it did what it needed to do. And I think listening back to it now, you can kind of hear that in it as well. It's all about that, our sort of escapism when we were first put into lockdown, which was brand new to everyone on planet Earth. So we just wanted to provide, like, as much as it was for our escapism to go and write it and record it, now when people go and listen to it, hopefully it takes them out of their daily routine a little bit.
And can I just say, with the songwriting process, then, is it a joint effort, or is it, does Freddie do the writing, does us write, or does JC, or is it, does one do the lyrics, one do the music, or is it, do you just all to get together and just sit in a room, or as per what normality is now via these Zoom meetings or whatever? Is that how you write, or is it just down to, I've probably just asked too many questions in one then. Who does the writing, who does the music? I can edit it down anyway.
I think ultimately we don't like to put any like rules on anything. We don't like to say like, today let's write a song about this, or let's write a song this way. So yeah, sometimes I'll come up with like an idea, like some chords and like a melody. I'm very like phonetic with like songs. It's always like the sound of the words before like the lyrics come. That's just kind of how it works. And then I'll send it to like Freddie, and Freddie will kind of like put some parts together and send it off to Huss, and we'll kind of like build out the track like back and forth. And then sometimes Freddie will have an idea, like some chords and stuff, and he'll send it to me, and then I'll put like the melody and lyrics over the top. And then other times Huss will come up with like drum beat, and they'll kind of like build like a song together with like Freddie, and then they'll send it over, and then I'll put like the melody and the lyrics over the top. Yeah,
it's definitely lent itself to the position we've been in. Like we like at any, I mean, probably more so a few weeks ago, but we had like 3 songs just on rotation, because one would be with JC for lyrics, one would be with Fred putting some parts down, and I'd have another one recording some drums. So it's been, that process, songwriting process, lends itself to our setups here.
And can I just ask, can I get Freddie to speak on this one, if you don't mind? I think he's the quiet one. Is he the quiet one in the band? He's just sitting there nodding away.
The educated one.
Yeah. He's the wise one, isn't he? He's letting you both speak, and then he's like, well, no, that wasn't right.
I'm just texting them like,
I was going to say, I going back to highlights, it's a cracking album, but I think you've bettered it with this new EP, and you've got, for me, there's like 5 of the 6 stand out to me, which is quite rare. You probably get 1 or 2 you're sort of really like, but there's 5 out of the 6. I mean, they're all great, but there's 5 that stand out to me. But it's just, I don't know how you've done it. It's just, lockdown's obviously helped with the writing to create these songs, but you have to sort of pinch yourself to think, what if we were still in lockdown for another 12 months, what more, what can you produce? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think in a way with highlights, we were kind of coming into our stride a bit with how the writing process worked, and starting to know what methods worked best. And I think our sound was also starting to change quite a lot from previous EPs at that point. So highlights was like the first kind of step into a more upbeat kind of area with our music, and I think there were some really strong tracks on that from my perspective anyway. But then I think we've just learned what works for us more and more over time, and I would agree. I feel like going into Reverie, we've just we've kind of found our stride a bit with knowing, like, I'm starting to know if my guitar fits into the song in this way, whereas in the first few tracks I was almost just trying to sneak myself in, but now we're all kind of a much more established part in the sound. Like, you can really hear the drums clear, you can hear my parts, and obviously JC's on top of everything with the voice. But yeah, I think it's becoming a smoother process, and we're probably enjoying it more as well.
So you're an advocate then of saying, you know, or maybe this lockdown is the way forward when it comes to creating music. You know, being apart from each other has been actually better than being in the studio together for what you've created.
Yeah, there's almost like no distractions, is there? It's like, I guess if we're touring, like, you know, it's quite difficult to like find the time, and like, you know, you're never in the same place at once, but like there's almost like no excuses for us during this time to be like super productive.
And I know you're obviously on this new EP. You've got on Higher Than Before, Malikoa. I can never pronounce her name. Malikoa, is that right?
Malikoa.
Malikoa. Sorry, there you go.
Right.
I'm crap. I'm 47. I'm play one age. Malikoa. How, when you wrote that song, I mean, obviously, did you have her in mind, or was it a case of you had the track done with just your lyrics, JC, or was it a case of, you know, then you sort of approached her? I mean, how did it come about?
Yeah, so we wrote that song, and it wasn't ever going to be a duet. It was just going to be just like another, like an EP song. It was just a song that we really liked, and I can't remember who came up with the idea, and that it would lend itself, and yeah, we got in touch with her. We were like, she's got a song called Revolution, which is an absolute tune. I'm just a big fan, basically. So when she said yes, we were like buzzing, and then we wrote her part together with her, like her verse, and it was just like one of those like really quick, easy sessions that lasted like 15-20 minutes. It was like, okay, well, that was very easy. That, you know, like everything kind of was going for us, which was like really cool, which I feel like is a good sign. And yeah, really happy with how it turned out.
The video's cracking as well. I mean, why was that recorded then? Because obviously, was that quite recently, or I mean, obviously, it would have been in the last 6 months, I would say.
Yeah, I think we shot the videos in October.
Okay.
All of those music videos, we spent months on Zoom planning them with the whole team. But we actually shot them all in 2 days or 3 days, was it? So we did them like back to back, and we just booked the studio time at the right time. Like we went in between two of the lockdowns, and yeah, it was great. That whole creative process was so much fun, and yeah.
So you like the pressure? I mean, I know that it's like being in the music industry is like being in a pressure cooker anyway. But if what I'm gauging from talking to you guys, you thrive on it. You know, you thrive on this urgency, and you know, there's limited time frame you've got to get things done, and you seem to get it done.
I think it's quite easy to do that with creative things in general. I think some artists can be quite kind of wishy-washy with deadlines, but I think we're the complete opposite. I think JC especially likes a bit of structure, and I think for me that's been great. It's kind of like we're working towards this date. It's not just this abstract goal of ours. And I think that's really helped to actually say our goal is to write so many songs by this date, and it seems to work for us.
It should work for a lot of people. Maybe I should take a leaf out of your book. I'm piss poor at procrastination. So, what do you want some listeners to take from the music then that have maybe not heard your music before? You know, whether it be one track, some of the tracks, or all of your tracks. What would you, as a group, want people to take from your music?
I think with I mean, there's a question we get asked a lot is what's the meaning of flaws? Like, what does it mean? And it's kind of like this idea of like embracing your flaws and like your imperfections, and that thing of like, well, no one's perfect, and that kind of learning from your mistakes. So I think a lot, like especially Reverie, especially this latest like body of work, is that all of the songs are very uplifting. I think everything we've done it's all very positive and like uplifting and kind of like, so I think, you know, if anyone could, you know, if they can take that, you know, if they can take anything from it like in that sense, then yeah, we'll be happy.
Is that the same for you, Freddie and us?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's all about self-belief, and yeah, I mean that's how we got to this point, constantly working and believing in ourselves, and that's one of the a strong message for people to take away, which I mean, and even more so in this time when everyone's had such a crappy year. Like, things will get better, and this is what it's designed for. You know, yeah, we'll strive.
I guess just like on a musical level, I think it's this EP has felt like it's had a lot of influences from maybe some more abstract references of ours. I think if people could do notice little things here and there, that would be great for me, just to think, oh, like I wonder if that was the Police or whatever that influenced that beat, or maybe just more like some old school acts that you wouldn't necessarily expect from an artist like us. I think that's great.
So you mentioned the Police. I mean, are they a big inspiration for you guys? I mean, I know obviously we're going back a long way. You know, 40 years when they sort of were out and about. And you guys are not that age. You know, I remember the Police when I was very young, but you know, you guys wouldn't. But would they be an influence, say, when you know later? Well, when you were growing up and you sort of went back to some of the early music.
Yeah, I think I definitely grew up with their music and Sting's music a lot. But I think the nice thing of music nowadays is that we can all just, I like to think we've got fairly like a wide knowledge of music, and it's kind of like this song would suit a drum sound like Prince's snare drum on that song, and it's kind of like just plucking sounds from songs that you've grown up with and just putting them into a more modern kind of pop sound. But yeah, for me, yeah, I love the Police, and that whole Stuart Copeland, like the drum vibe was definitely an influence on some of these.
Yeah, big time.
And anyone else for yourself? Would it be any other sort of bands that sort of influenced you?
I think, I mean, I grew up listening to a lot of rock music and a lot of sort of pop punk, like Blink-182 and things like that. But equally, you know, I grew up listening to a lot of hip hop as well. So the way that it's definitely influenced the way that I play the drums and approach writing drum parts and performing the drums. But yeah, like Freddie said, it's nice to reference things and to put them in a new light, and it's exciting for us, like listening to how can I take some inspiration from that song, that production, and tie it into this, which is definitely something we did with Reverie.
And what about you, JC? Well, I mean, obviously you're the voice in a way. You know, you are the voice. And who influenced you? Because obviously you've got a unique voice. You have, and I just think it's bang on, mate. It's bang on. Yeah. Probably just a basic word to use, but it is.
Oh, nice one. Thanks. Yeah, I mean, I feel like growing up, I feel like my parents didn't really give me much in the way of like, I feel like you speak to some people as like, oh, my parents gave me this album and this album, this album. Like, I feel like I did a lot of like the exploring like on my own, and I ended up kind of like delving into like, and almost like being obsessed with artists for like a period of time. So I remember like I heard about the Beatles when I was like 13, which was like really, really late. Or I felt at the time it was like, I was like, kind of like, oh, like, you know, Mum and Dad, why have you never told me about this band before? Like, why have I never heard this? But it almost like I was discovering them like all at the same time. So I'd like discover like the Beatles, or like like Police, or like I don't know, Queen or the Who or Jeff Buckley, and then obviously then it became into the bands that were kind of around, like Radiohead and Coldplay, and you know, those kind of artists that I definitely looked up to, and yeah, I think just obsessed over throughout like growing up.
So it's definitely diverse selection there.
Yeah, I think there was never like a specific type of music that like I was like really into it. It was quite varied, and it was kind of like this fun kind of like time to like explore, which looking back was actually pretty cool.
Oh, no, thank you. I'm just one last question because I know I'm running out of time. What have you all done to kick back then with under lockdown? You know, when you're away from music, what sort of things have you been getting up, or well, around the house per se? You know, in the garden or whatever, or reading, or just I don't know, watching. I don't know. What have you done to escape as best as you can?
I mean, other than recording, there's been a lot of recording and a lot of drumming in this house. But I like to do a lot of carpentry and woodwork. So I've been building tables, picture frames, all sorts of things, which has been It's been great, actually. I've learned a lot of new skills, and I have loads of new tools and loads of new carpentry books. So I'm honing in my skills.
That's the creative mind, mate. That's why I asked the question, because it's for just you saying that, it's that creativity. You've got to be trying something new or perfecting, a hobby or whatever. So you just nailed it with that one. I'm expecting the other two to come up with something even better. But I'm gonna. Can I ask? Let me ask Freddie next on this one.
Yeah, I don't think mine are quite as cool. Maybe
come on.
Word, but,
you know what mine is, Freddie?
Yeah, I'm like the self-proclaimed old man of the band, but yeah, like you said, reading has been a big thing for me, and I actually love cooking as well. Going to town on recipes a bit more than normal, and the other thing is running. I've really got into that since the first lockdown, and I've just found that's been an incredibly good help for your headspace and just getting rid of any of the craziness.
I'm prepared for JC when I'm sitting down on the desk. Go
on. I'm like useless. I can never like switch off. Like I'd struggle to like. I'm always like all go. I can't really like turn off. But I have recently, I guess the last few months, discovered I got given a jigsaw, and I started like I can't remember, but like I was doing a jigsaw, and all of a sudden like all these like lyric ideas were like coming to my head.
Yeah.
So I now do jigsaws. So I ended up buying like loads of jigsaws to do lyrics, but also just again that thing of like turning off. Yeah.
So,
there we go.
Unbelievable, man. Yeah. Sorry.
Go jigsaw table.
This is a jigsaw table I'm working on.
Wicked.
We can you guys one. We'll let you guys chat about it. We'll leave it.
How many pieces can you do?
Me, I've got this one's only we've just gone off. This is only 200 pieces, but it's small pieces, so I'm working my way up to more than that. So yeah, but no, I bet JC can do 2,000-3,000.
No, I'm just a 500 kind of guy. I'm just like just nice and basic, nothing too challenging. More just kind of like allows my mind to switch off. I guess like what Freddie says, like going for runs and like going for walks and stuff kind of allows that as well, which I think is like really important. But yeah, I do love a jigsaw now.
I'll end it there, but maybe when it comes to you in concert, we can sort of discuss.
The tour bus, yeah. The jigsaw set up for the tour bus, I tell you.
All right then, guys. Well, nice one. Enjoy the rest of the week, whatever the best you can, and I'm looking forward to. Well, people are going to look forward to the EP anyway. It's cracking. So
wicked.
Thank you very much.
Nice one, dude.
Thanks, man.